Hi everyone, this is Mike with Bad Goblin Games, here to show you a small demo game of Ages of Conflict. Now in this demo, we're just using fantasy. So we have one army of demons over here, we have an army of wood elves over here, and these are small armies. I'm playing in a really confined space. I would say this is probably about 3 feet wide, maybe 2 to 2.5 feet deep. So not a big playing surface. I'm just trying to keep it really small, short, and keep everything within just a nice confined area. So on this side we have demons, and I'm just going to show you what we have. We have some minor demons here. These are ogres. This is a cannon battery. These are demons or common demons. And this is a major demon. This basically counts basically as a monster, and he has a howdah on his back with some soldiers who are using heavy crossbows. Over here we have some wood elves. We have some basically some like tree folk giants here. We have a battery of ballistae here. We have archers, spearmen or infantry. Over here we have some cavalry archers. Basically they're going to act as fast cavalry. And over here we have some tree folk. So that's really what we have. I'm not going to put a lot of strategy into this game. I'm really just going to kind of move the armies towards each other just to get into the fight. I'm not using any heroes for this game. This is really just say soldiers versus soldiers. There's no heroes, so there's no no wizards, no magic in this particular game. Roster sheets. This is the roster sheet for our elves. This is what we're using for our demons, and this is our quick reference sheet that we have. You see this is two-sided. So really, when you play a game, this is really all you're going to need. You're going to need your roster sheets, and you'll want to keep the reference guide handy. But you can see there's some tables on the reference guide, but they aren't tables that you're going to look up, say, commonly as you're playing the game. For example, this is a reference table for formation. So if I want to adopt a particular formation during the game, I would probably just look at this quickly just to make sure I remember exactly what that formation gives me. But you'll see that there are no tables that you're going to look up every turn. So the first thing we do every turn, and by the way, what I really plan to do here is explain things I guess to various degrees in depth as we start the game, or as we're probably in the early phases of the game. But as the game progresses, I will be explaining things a bit less and a bit less. So first thing we do every turn is just issue orders. Now I've already issued orders, so we have orders on all of our units. You can also see I've started a few. For example, on the elf side, I've already started some off in skirmishing formation. So when you start a game, you are free to start units in whatever formation you like. There's no command check required. If you want to start them in a shield wall, go ahead and start them in a shield wall. So I've already started some of the elves in skirmishing formation. So now that we have orders issued, we're going to roll for initiative. Now, initiative is based off your general's command. We don't have any generals in this game because those are heroes, so we're just going to use 2d10 for each. We're going to use red for the demons and black for the elves. So we have, again, success. We're looking for successes. More success is better. A 6 or more is a success. Demons have 1. The wood elves have 2. So the wood elves are going to go first this turn. So we're going to go on to our reveal orders and movement phase. And all we're really doing here is activating units. We're going to alternate activating units. So the wood elves are going to go first, then the demons, then back to wood elves, and so on. So I'm going to flip this order for the ballistae. This is second missiles. Second missiles, if the order allows movement, then I'm going to move that unit now. Their second missiles does not allow movement, so I activate the unit by flipping the order. They don't move. Again, all we're doing this turn is revealing an order and moving the unit if it allows it. This is not combat. So even though it's a missile weapon, we aren't shooting. Okay, so we're going to pick a demon unit to activate, and we're going to activate their cannons. And their cannons are also on second missile, so that also prevents movement. So we'll go back to our wood elves. We're going to flip these archers. They have first missiles. First missiles also prohibits movement, so they won't move. We'll go back to the demons. We'll activate these demons. They have march orders. Now this ground is smooth ground, just for the sake of simplicity and quickness of the game. I did not put any terrain out here, so this is all smooth ground. So with march orders over smooth ground, they can go up to twice their move. So that's a quick pace. So that means they can go 10 centimeters. So we'll move them 10 centimeters forward. We'll move that order token with it. Next, we go back to our wood elves, and we're going to activate our tree folk elders over here, and they have march orders. Now this counts as what we call a single stand or single creature, so I could have given them charge orders and they could charge without risk of becoming disorganized, though we're not going to do that here. So they're going to move 12. Back to our demons. Let's do our ogres here. They're going to go 10. So basically all these units I'm moving thus far are moving at a quick pace. A quick pace is double the move. Back to our elves, we'll activate the infantry or the spearmen. Back to our demons. Back to our elves, we're going to activate our cavalry here. Now I gave the cavalry here charge orders, so they're skirmishing. Now since they're skirmishers, they can move at that charge pace, and even if they don't come into contact with an enemy, they're not going to risk becoming disorganized. Though I don't really want to charge them up. I mean, if I charge them, this is fast cavalry, these are archers, so they're not intended to get into hand combat. So we're just going to move them up a little bit. Ideally, this is the kind of unit that you really want to give a bit more berth to. So ideally they would be going on, say, around a flank, trying to harass an enemy from the side or the rear, but just because of the size of the table we're using here, we don't really have that option. All right, and we'll go to our last demon. This is our major demon. He has a charge order, so he can, since he's what we refer to as a single stand, he can move at a charge pace, and he's also not going to become disorganized. So we'll move him, and he's really just out of charge range. So charge range is 3 times the unit's move. His move is 6. So that charge pace, he can go 18. So he could make it here, which would be just out of range. But we're just going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to move him all the way up. Just out of hand combat, but he did move a pretty good distance. Our last movement of elves, our tree folk here, we're going to go just behind the archers. All right, so that's it for our reveal orders and movement phase for turn 1. So now we start our combat phases, and the first phase here is first missiles. So units that have first missiles can now cast their missiles. Now the only unit that actually has explicitly first missiles orders are the elf archers. So they have a range of 35, and we're going to be within range here. And you can pre-measure before you select your target. So 35, that basically gives them they can really cast their missiles at pretty much anybody here. They're all within long range though. When we measure range, we go from closest to closest on the base. So I think what we're going to do here is go ahead and take some shots at these demons here. Everything over here is going to be a little difficult to damage, though we're going to go ahead and attack these demons. Now, combat is on a company by company basis. So we have 3 companies of archers, so they have to designate their targets before I roll any dice. So we're just going to say these 2 with that one, oops, that one at that one. So each of the elf companies rolls, their ranged attack is 4d10, so each of them is rolling 4d10. The target number is the defense of the demons. Their defense is a 3, so they're not really well armored. They're not actually difficult to hit. So rolling 4 dice, each of these rolls as a 3 or more is a success, and the more successes I have in combat, the better. So we'll start here. I'm going to roll. I've got a 3, a 6, a 7, and an 8. So that's 4 successes. And now the demons make a casualty check. A casualty check is a command check, and that's, for most units, that's going to be a 2d10. So these are demons, and they have an ability called toughness. So that toughness adds an additional die here to their casualty check. And I'm using a different color because you can only benefit from this dice. If this dice rolls what we call a kill check or kill number, it doesn't count towards that. And if that comes up and during the course of the game, I'll explain a bit more. But for right now, so just understand that typically units have 2 dice for the casualty check. These demons have an ability called toughness, and that adds another dice. So not difficult to hit, though difficult to actually damage. Now my target number here is 5 plus the number of successes the elves roll when they attack. They had 4 successes, so I need one of these dice to be a 9. So I'm going to roll, and I have a 1, a 5, and a 10. So even though these 2 failed, this one passed. I only needed one of those to be a 9, and it happened to be the toughness dice. So you can see right away that extra dice paid immediate dividends for those demons. All right, the second elf company. I have a 5, a 6, and a 7, so that's 3 hits. So another casualty check, and I need 8s. And again, I pass because I have an 8 and a 10. And the last company of elves, that's a pretty poor attack there. A 1, a 2, and a 3. So only 1 success out of that. That's not good. And again, the demons roll pretty poorly as well. 2 and a 3, those are failures, but I got another 10 on that toughness die, so that saved them twice that time. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take the first missiles off those elf archers because they have activated and they can't do anything else this turn. Let's go on to demons. The demons have no first missiles, so they're not doing anything else in this particular phase. Now over here, our the elf cavalry, even though they were not explicitly given first missiles orders, they were given charge orders, they have an ability called independent weapon. What independent weapon allows you to do is to separate the weapon from the order that the unit was given. So, and that's to represent exceptionally good archers, in this case, good horse archers. This is an ability you see a lot more when you're going, say, World War II in sci-fi, because again, we're separating the weapon from the order. So the way this works is, even though they moved, and they moved at a charge pace, which normally prohibits casting your missiles, since they have independent weapon on their bows, they can go ahead and cast their bows on first missiles. So we're going to target an enemy, and we're just going to target these minor demons across the way here. Now, the minor demons they're not quite so tough as these common demons are. So again, we're just rolling 4 dice. Their defense is really bad. It's only a 2. So I only need 2s for successes here. And I got 4 successes. So we go to our casualty check. They don't have toughness. So since I have 4 successes, again, my casualty check number is a 9 because 5 plus 4 successes. So I need one of these to be a 9. That's a failure with a 2 and a 7. Since they failed, I'm going to put this little token on this unit that represents that unit received a break token. break tokens just to measure several factors: injury, stress, fatigue, loss of morale. So basically, it's just as the combat accumulates, or as these units accumulate those tokens, they become closer and closer to either falling back or breaking from the battle altogether. Now that token doesn't belong to a particular company, it belongs to the entire battalion. All right, the next company of elves. Again, we have 4 successes. Got a flush. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hey. All right, so another casualty check. Again, I need a 9, and I failed. Got a 5 and a 6. So that's another break token. So this unit has 2 break tokens. They can have a number of break tokens equal to their presence. Their presence is a 3. So once they get that 4th break token, they might either fall back or run away. Okay, we have no more units with first missiles. So now we go on to march orders, and these are units with march orders that have missile weapons. In this case, we have none. So we're going to go on to the next phase, which is hand combat. We have none. We're close, but we have none yet. So now we're going on to second missiles. We have several units with second missiles. We have the demon cannon, the elf ballistae, and this demon here, remember, he has a howdah on his back, and all the troops back here on his back are armed with heavy crossbows, which all go off on second missiles. So we're going to have a few rolls here, a few attacks. The Wood Elves have initiative, so they're going to activate a unit first. So they're going to activate this ballistae. The short range for this ballistae is 25 centimeters. So that's within these demons over here within range. So they're going to go ahead and target those demons. Now normally the elves roll 4d10, though at that short range they're going to get 2 extra dice. So they're rolling a lot of dice. They're rolling a 6. Oh, I'm sorry, they're rolling 6 dice. Again, my target number is only it's normally a 3. So target number is normally a 3, though they also possess armor piercing, which is these demons have 1 point of natural armor. So that's going to get rid of that 1 point natural armor. So their defense is effectively down to a 2 at this point. So I roll, so I only need 2s. And those are all successes. So I got 1, 2, 3, I got 6 successes. So that means my target number is an 11. Now obviously I can't roll an 11 on a 10-sided dice, but 10s are an automatic success when I make my casualty check. Now if you see here, I also have a couple of 10s in here. Those 10s are critical hits. Anytime you roll a 10 when you're attacking, the unit that you attacked receives an automatic break token. Regardless of the outcome of their casualty check, they're going to get an automatic break token here. All right, so now they're going to go on to their casualty check. In here, they have 2 dice for their from their command, and they have 1 dice from their toughness. And I need 10s here. I'm going to roll. I need a 10. Looky there, another 10 with that toughness dice. That's 3 times that toughness dice has saved that unit. So they don't actually take anything further from that attack. So that's good for them. So we'll take that second missiles off. We're going to go over to the demons, and we're going to activate the cannon there. So a couple things about a cannon. You have a couple options when you're shooting the cannon. You can shoot just a round ball, or you can shoot canister shot. Now canister shot is going to be much more effective at close range, though we're dealing with a pretty long range here. So we're going with just a round ball. Now the benefit of a round ball, and I'm just going to move this ballistae for a moment, is it basically hits everything in a line. If you roll well enough. It's not automatic. But for example, if I hit this ballistae, it would continue going, basically affecting everything within that straight line and within a range. Now in this situation, we're just dealing with just one unit. So I'm going to get my attack dice for the demons. They're rolling 3 dice. It's long range. They're not getting any kind of bonuses. The defense here for these elves, they basically have no armor. So their armor is a 2, but they are a skirmishing unit, which gives them a bonus to their defense against missile weapons. So and that cannon counts as a missile weapon. So their defense is a 3, so I need 3s. Okay, well, I got 2 of them. I got a 1, a 3, and a 4. So their casualty check here, 5 plus 2, so 7. I need one of these to be a 7. And I got it, 3 and a 7, so success there. So we'll take that off. We'll go over to our demon here. Remember, he has that Howdah on his back with independent weapon with those heavy crossbows. So he's just going to take a shot at the incoming tree folk there. So he has a pretty good amount of natural armor. So his defense is normally a 5, but at this range, it's going to get reduced by 1 from armor piercing from those heavy crossbows. And we're also going to get a bonus dice because of the short range from those crossbows. So I'm rolling 4 dice, and my target number is a 4 to hit. So that's 3 successes with a 4, 7, and a 9. And I got 2 dice for my casualty check. The tree folk also has toughness. He has a toughness of 2, so I'm rolling 4 dice, and I need a 8. That's a really good roll. 1, 9, and 10, 10. So he passed. So nothing occurred from that. So you can see monsters are pretty difficult to hit. They're not. I'm sorry. They're easy to hit, but that toughness, because of that toughness ability, they are rather difficult to actually damage. Okay, so that's going to be everything for combat. So we're going to go into our end phase. There's a few things we're going to do here. We're going to pick up any orders that are still on the table. And now we are going to, each of these units that has a break token, they're going to basically get a chance to effectively try to rally. So that's very simple. It's just a command check for each unit that has a break token. Every success, which is a 6 or more, allows you to remove one of these break tokens. So we're going to roll for this one. 4 and a 7, so they remove 1. And our minor demons over here, a 4 and a 5, both failures, so they don't remove any of theirs. So the thing about these break tokens is they are going to accumulate. So if this gets much higher, or really even now, since I can only take 2 more, as the player controlling these demons, I have to consider whether or not I want to keep moving forward with them, or maybe voluntarily move them back to get them out of danger, so I can get a chance to remove these. If I don't, and they take a couple more, then they may rout from the table completely, and I just may lose them altogether. Okay, we're going to go on to turn 2. I've already issued our orders, so we're going to go on to initiative. Here are the demons. 1 success. The elves have 2 successes, so again, the elves are going to go first. So we're going to go on to reveal orders and movement. I'm going to go ahead and activate the Tree Folk Elder here, and he's going to just charge into combat. Now, they have the same presence score. If there was a difference in presence, say if this demon had a higher presence, then the Tree Folk would have to check to see if they actually move into combat. If the Tree Folk had a higher presence than the demon would have to check to see if he perhaps just routes from the battle. But they are the same in this situation. Now, the demon here, he has some options. He can take the charge as he did. If he had a missile weapon other than like the heavy crossbow, say if he just had regular bows, he could cast those missiles as a Tree Folk engages, or he could voluntarily move back. So he's just going to take the charge. So in that case, we just go ahead and flip his order here. That does not count as activating that unit. So now I have to go activate a demon. We'll activate our common demon here. So they will move forward 10 centimeters. And they have march orders, which allows quick pace over smooth ground. Go to our elves, second missiles, so they don't move. Our demon cannon, second missiles, so they don't move. Wood elf archers, first missiles, they don't move. Our ogres, they have march, they're going to go 10. See, we are closing in on combat here. Our we gave our Wood Elves here march orders. So what they're going to do is they're going to go ahead and move into combat. Now, these elves have thrown weapons. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stop them right here just for a moment. So just out of range. With march orders, and since they have thrown weapons, they effectively get a free attack before they actually engage in combat. So all three of these companies get to basically make a free attack with thrown weapons. So we'll say they're going to attack there, and these two are going to attack that company. All right, so I got 4 dice to attack. My defense here is a 5, so they need 5s. That's 2 successes there. So my casualty check here is a 7. Pass. Next company, 3 successes. My casualty is an 8. Again, I passed. And the third company of elves. Oh, here we have a critical. That's an automatic break token on the ogres. And I have 4 successes, so I need a 9 on my casualty check. And I failed with a 2 and a 6. So that's another break token on those ogres. And now we go ahead and complete the movement into hand combat. All right, let's go back to our demons. Go with our minor demons here. They're going to go 10. That's going to put them just out of range. And back to our wood elves. They're actually going to stay there. And they're going to stay there. We're going to kind of see what happens here. All right, that is it for reveal orders and movement. Let's go on to our combat phases. First, we have first missiles. Okay, so elves, they're going to go first. First missiles here, and they're all going to target these demons here. They are still out of short range, so it's all long range. We're going to go ahead and make 3 attacks here. So we've got 4 dice, and my target number is a 3. So another really bad roll, a 1, a 2, and 2 3s. So the casualty check here is 7, and they get their toughness die, so I need 7 or more. That's a pass. Second company of elves. Okay, it's 3 successes that time. Oh, there's I got a 10 on the casualty check, so they pass. And the third company of elves. Well, there's a 10, so that's an automatic break token. And that's 3 successes. I'm sorry, 4 successes, so I need a 9. And there it is, a 9. So they pass. So they end up with one break token on them from all that. So we'll remove that. The demons have no first missiles. The elves have their cavalry here with first missiles. Oops, forgot to move those over. The independent weapons. So they're going to go ahead and take some more shots at those little minor demons here to see if they can get them to maybe break. And they are going to be within short range. Short range, they're going to get a bonus die to attack. So I don't need, they're basically wearing no armor, so I only need 2s here. So I should get a pretty good amount. Yeah, so that's 5 successes. So I need a 10. I failed, I got a 1 and a 3. So this one here is important. Every weapon has what we call a kill number associated with it. The more lethal the weapon, the higher that kill number. So bows have a kill number of 1. What this means is if a unit fails its casualty check and one of the dice, or at least one of the dice, is equal to or lower than the kill number, the unit doesn't receive a break token. Instead, the company is removed as a casualty completely. So these demons here, the minor demons, they failed their casualty check, and I rolled a 1, which is the kill number for a bow. So that company is removed from the game completely. The second company of elf archers attacks. I got 4 successes that time, so my target number is a 9. And wow, look at that. a 1 and a 2 on the casualty check. So I failed a casualty check again, and I rolled that kill number again. So we take another unit of minor demons off the field. Now this unit of minor demons, which until a few moments ago had a presence of 3, they lost 2 companies, which reduces their presence to 1. They are now above their break value. Now that doesn't really come into play until the end phase, because they get a chance to remove some of those first. But if they don't, then that unit is either going to fall back or just route from the game completely. We're going to take that order off. That's it for first missiles. We're going to go into units with march orders and missile weapons. We have none, so we're going to go on to hand combat, and we do have a couple instances of hand combat here. We're going to start down here with our demon and our tree folk elders. So this is now in hand combat is simultaneous, so it doesn't really matter who attacks first in this instance. So even if one of the units is removed as a casualty before they attack, they still get to attack. So the hand, have an escape dice. So the demon, he's one of the more powerful units in the game. So he's actually going to roll 8 dice. So it's a considerable amount of dice. The tree folk, he has a defense of 5, so we need 5s for this. So we're probably going to get quite a few successes out of this. Not as many as I had hoped, or thought anyway. Well, I guess that's about right statistically. Yes, we got 4 successes. One of them was a 10, so that tree folk automatically receives a break token. So he's going to roll his casualty check, 2, but he has toughness of 2. So he's going to roll 4 dice, and he needs one of the, or sorry, he needs a 9. And we got there's a 10, so he passed that. So now the tree folk is going to make his attack. It's not quite as powerful as that demon. He's going to roll 6 dice. The demon has a little lower defense, so I need rolling 6 dice and I need 4s. That's all successes. So we got 6 successes there, including a critical. See, he's going to get his automatic break token. Now the demon has his casualty check at 2, but he has a little higher toughness. He has 3 dice for toughness. Again, that's pretty much about as high as you're going to get in the game. So I need one of these to be a 10. And I got it. There we go, 110. That's all I needed. So that round of hand combat between these two was effectively a draw. All right, I'm going to take these orders off. We're going to slide over to our elves and ogres here. It doesn't really matter who attacks first. We're just going to go with the elves first. So they each have 3 dice when they're attacking in hand combat. The ogres have a defense of 5, so I need 5s. 1 success. That means their ogre casualty check is a 6. Passed. The second company of elves attacks. 1 success, so I need a 6. And I failed. Now, important thing to note here, this company is not attacking. In order to attack, you have to basically share an edge or be in base-to-base contact. Diagonal is not considered base-to-base contact, so that's why this third company is not attacking. So the ogres here, they failed the casualty check in hand combat, so basically hand weapons have a kill number of 2. So I failed the casualty check, and I rolled a 2 there. So one of these ogres is removed as a casualty. All right, well, let me take him back here. Again, hand combat simultaneous. So since they haven't attacked yet, I just kind of slide them back a little bit. That way I remember to actually attack with that unit. So they still get to attack. So he's going to roll for his attack now. They roll 4 dice. The elves have a defense of 6. Only 1 success, but that success is a 10, so it's an automatic break token. And now the elves, their casualty check here is a 6. Passed, barely. I rolled a 1 and a 6, so slim. All right, the next company of ogres. another 10, so that's another break point. Got 2 successes that time, so my target number on my casualty check is a 7. And I passed there with an 8. So I'll go ahead and remove these company of ogres here as a casualty now. And that is, well, I'm sorry, not it for hand combat. I'm sorry, not it for combat, rather. That's it for hand combat. But we do have, now we're going to second missiles. So we're going to go ahead and go with these elf ballistae first. So they're going to target these demons here. So the ballistae is going to be well within short range. So it's 4 dice typically. That short range, we're getting 2 more dice, so that's 6 dice for the ballistae. Has armor piercing, so these demons are going to lose their 1 point of armor. So my target number now is a 2. Well, we have some 10s there, so it's an automatic breakpoint. That's a critical, and we have 6 successes. So our demons now, they're going to make their casualty check, get 1 point for their toughness. So I need a 10. I failed a 6, 6, and a 7. So I failed, but I didn't roll that kill number this time, so that's just another breakpoint. All right, so we'll take that off. We'll go to our cannon here. We're going to target the elves again. That's 3 dice, and my target number is a 3. 2 successes. I need a 7, and I passed with a 9. So the cannon is really how it's set up here. Just it's not as effective as it could be. Again, if I was in closer range for that cancer shot, it would be pretty effective. Or if I just had multiple units, or maybe at an enfilade where instead of firing straight in, maybe I was firing from the side, it'd be a little more effective. How it's set up here is not all that effective. All right, we have 1 more unit of second missiles. That's our crossbowmen with independent weapon here. So they're going to take a shot at the treefolk elder here. All right, that's going to be 3 successes. And with 3 successes, my casualty check number is an 8. And good roll. Got an 8, 9, and 10, so easily past that. So that is it for the combat phase. We're going to end turn. Going to take our orders off the table. Now we're going to give units a chance to rally. So units that have break tokens are going to roll to remove them. So we'll do our tree folk here. Now I roll a 2 and a 2, so they don't remove theirs. We'll go with our spearmen. 4 and a 5. They also don't remove any. Go to our demons. Our major demon. A 2 and a 4, so he doesn't remove his. So far, not very good rolls here. Go to our common demons. A 3 and a 5. So just statistically, I should be removing at least one of these. I mean, getting a 6 or more on 2 dice, I mean, that's a 75% chance, and I haven't removed any yet. So kind of defying the odds here. Let's go on to our ogres. A 2 and a 3, so again, I don't remove any. Now, it's okay for all these, because these break tokens have not breached their presence. However, the minor demons, the number of break tokens they have has breached their presence. So even though no one has removed any yet, it's not a huge deal. If they don't remove one of these now, then they're either going to fall back or just rout from the table. So let's see what happens. A 7 and a 9. So the only unit that actually rallies is the one that really needs it, and they remove both of theirs. So that's it for turn 2. All right, we're going on to turn 3. Again, I've already issued orders, so we're going to go on to initiative. Demons have no successes. The elves have 2 successes. So again, the elves are going to go first on the turn. Let's go on to review orders and movement. I'm going to flip this order. They're already in combat, and I could maybe try to move them out of combat or what have you, but we're just going to leave them there. Demons activate. He's going to stay there. Elves, they're going to stay there. Demons, cannons are going to stay. first missiles for these elves, so they're going to stay. These demons here, we gave them charge orders, so they're going to go ahead and charge, and they can actually make it to that ballistae. So on charge, you can go up to your charge pace, which for the demons is 15 centimeters. So they can make it into hand combat with that cannon. I'm sorry, with that ballistae. Now I'm not moving him into combat with the archers, so I'm just going to actually leave him a little bit back just to show that he's not actually in combat. He's still in base to base with his fellow demons there, but I just don't want to put him in base to base contact with his archers because he's not actually in base to base. So I'm just going to move him back, keep him back a little bit there. All right, let's move all that. Elves. We're going to go ahead and move our cavalry here. Now that they have a little more clear field to work with, they're going to move. And again, they're charging, so they can go up to their charge pace, which is 3 times their move. Their move is 9. So on a charge pace, and they go 27 centimeters, so they can move pretty well. So they're going to go 20. Now, since they're skirmishing, I don't have to worry about wheeling or anything like that. Skirmishing units have a pretty good degree or flexibility of movement. And now he's just going to move that way. And I'm just going to move him up there. Go side by side. All right, back to our demons. Charge. So the minor demons, what's left of them, they're going to try to charge into combat with the elves. So here's where presence matters. This minor demon unit has a presence of 1. This elf unit has a presence of 3. Since the elves have a higher presence, the demon must make a command check. If this command check is not passed, they just won't move into combat. So this is sort of a command and control mechanism. Because again, units don't always do what you want them to do, and this is one of the ways we reflect that. So they're going to make their command check. I just need a 6, a 1, and a 5. So even though I say I want them to charge, since they failed their command check, they don't charge. So they basically sit there, and that's their turn. All right, back to our elves. March. They're going to stay there. I'm not going to charge up here. I could, if I want to, move them around, but I'm not going to do that because I have these demons here. The ogres, on the other hand, with march orders, he can move around. So now this company is going to be engaged with 2 units of ogres. And now let's go to our last unit of elves here. Whoa. All right. They are far enough away. So what I'm going to do here, if you're not within the threat range of an enemy, well, and actually I am, so never mind. I'm just within threat range. So I'm actually just going to move them forward. I was thinking about kind of sliding them over here, but I'm just going to move them that way, and maybe we can get on their flank here. So that is it for review of orders and movement. We're going to go on to combat. All right, so we're doing first missiles. This is our first turn, our first phase of combat. Only the elves really have first missile units here. So we have these 3 units of elf archers. So he can shoot. Now they could target this unit of demons, but they are in hand combat. And there's a couple ways you could do that. You could either give the demons a higher defense bonus, or you could risk hitting your own unit. I'm not going to do either. I'm just going to target everybody against this unit of demons here. And they can, okay. So all 3 of these can target those demons. And that's at short range. So I'm going to get a bonus dice. I'm rolling 5 dice, and I need 3s. That's a critical. So what I'm really doing here is, again, these break tokens, remember, they apply to the entire unit. So what I can do is even if I'm just targeting one company, if I can put that unit as a whole over its breakpoint value, then the entire unit may just flee the field. All right, so that's 3 hits. So I need a 8 on the casualty check. Passed, 2 9s. Second company. Only 3 hits that time. So again, an 8. And I failed, but I didn't roll a kill number. Remember, a kill number for a bow is a 1. So it's just another break token. And the last company of Elves attacks. That's 5 hits. Oh, that's not good for the demons anyway. My casualty check, I rolled 2 1s. So that's a failed the casualty check. And I rolled that kill number. So they are off the table. You're gone. So that was a pretty effective round for those archers. Pretty deadly at short range. All right, the other unit of first missiles we have are the cavalry here with independent weapon. And so they have some options here. And I think they're just going to shoot at that cannon, try to take that the cannon out. So it's at long range. So I've got 4 dice. The cannon has a defense of 4. That's an automatic. I got a critical, so that's an automatic break token, and I got 2 successes otherwise. So my casualty check here is a 7. I failed, so that's another break token. The second company attacks. Only 2 successes, so I need a 7. And they passed that time. But they did their job because the cannon only has a presence of 1. So again, at the end of the turn, if they don't remove at least one of these, then that cannon crew, and with artillery or engines, basically the way it works is fall back, or they don't really fall back, I guess I should say. Regardless, if they don't remove some of these, they're going to be gone at the end of this turn. All right, that's it for first missiles. We're going to March units with missiles. Again, we have none. We'll go on to hand combat, and we have a few hand combats taking place here. We'll start with our demons over on the side here. All right, so our major demon's just going to attack first, and remember he's rolling 8 dice. Defense here is a 5 for the tree folk. There's a 10, so that's an automatic break. And I get 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. So I need my casualty check here is a 9 on the tree folk. Oh, there's a 10, so he passed automatically. The tree folk is going to attack back. He's rolling 6 dice. The demon has a defense of 4. There's a 10, so that's an automatic break. 3 successes. So the demon, I need an 8. Well, there's a 10, so he passed. All right, so again, a little bit of a slog fest between these two. They're kind of trading blows. All right, let's go here. Now, the way this works here is that in hand combat, we're making the assumption that basically the crew for the artillery or for the engines here is trying to defend, their engines. So we're going to say the demons are attacking first. So they're rolling 5 dice when they attack. The engine crew, when they're in hand combat, they're treated as skirmishers in regard to they're less effective in hand combat. So they're actually going to receive some negatives when they attack back, but I'll show you that in a moment. So 5 dice, they have no armor, so 2 is my target number. 4 successes. And in hand combat, normally I'm rolling 2d10 for my casualty check, but skirmishing units receive a minus. I'm rolling 1d10 in hand combat. I failed, so that's a break token. All right, the skirmishers are going to attack back. So normally they'd have 3d10, but since they're in hand combat, they're at a minus, so 2d10. 1 success. And the demons are going to make their casualty check. I'll need a 6. And I got it. So, all right, so that's it for that hand combat. We'll go on to the elf infantry and the ogres here. We'll have the ogres attack first. So these two are going to attack that company. They need 6s. Only 1 success. That's not good for them. But I rolled a 1 and a 5, so they failed their casualty check. But I'm just moving them back a little bit. The other company of ogres still gets to attack. Again, all this is simultaneous. Okay, it's all simultaneous, so I could still inflict a break token. 3 successes. I need an 8, and I rolled a 5 and a 7, so I do just that. I inflict another break token. So now the elves attack. The elves attack back. I need 4s. Only 1 success. Now, I should point out here, since they're outnumbered, so basically they're attacking, or they're being attacked by 2 enemy companies, they get to split their hand attack dice however they want. They don't get to attack this one with 3 dice and this one with 3 dice. They have 3 dice, and you just kind of split them however you want. So I'm just doing it all, we'll say, against that unit. And I passed, so the ogres passed that casualty check. So those elves now get removed as a casualty. That is it for hand combat. Let's go to second missiles. This engine, the ballista here, they no longer get to attack. They're in hand combat, which it means they cannot use their second missile, so we just take that off the table. The cannon here, they're going to try to get a shot off on the archers again. That's 3 successes. Okay, so now the cannons, they're really lethal. So they have a kill number these cannons have a kill number of 3. So I needed an 8 for my casualty check, so I failed, and I rolled that kill number. So one of these units of elf archers is removed from the game as a casualty. So the cannon actually did something that time. All right, the last unit with second missiles are the heavy crossbowmen atop that demon. Short range, getting an extra dice. That's going to be 3 successes. So I need an 8. Well, there's 10s, so he passed his casualty check. So that is it for the combat phase. Let's go on to end turn. All right, so we're going to pick up orders. Now we're going to remove break tokens here. All right, so we're going to do the elves first. Roll for our tree folk elders. Again, they don't remove any. Roll for the ballistae. They remove theirs. Roll for our elf spearmen here. Now, this is important. The elves have this unit has a presence of 2, and they have 3 break tokens. So if I don't remove one of these, this unit is either falling back or they're routing from the table completely. So we're going to see what happens. A 2 and a 6. So I remove 1. So they're not they're still in danger, but at least at this point they're not definitely routing. All right, let's go on to our demons. We're going to start here with our demon. He removed both of his, so he gets a bout of bravery. The demons here, so they're in trouble regardless. So there's only 1 base, and that base has a presence of 2. So it doesn't matter at this point. I can't remove enough. So at this point, they are either falling back or routing. It doesn't matter what I roll. But I do remove 2, so it's 7 and a 10. Now, since they are still above their break value, they are either going to fall back or they're going to rout from the table. So the way this works is I make a command check. If I pass, then they fall back. If I fail, they rout. I rolled a 2 and a 3. That's a failure. So they route from the table. Now, I mean, this doesn't literally mean every single demon, ran, right, that was in this. It just means that this unit was, their effectiveness in battle was reduced to the point that we can just go ahead and remove them. There's probably some still here trying to duke it out. However, overall, their effectiveness as a fighting unit was reduced to the point that they don't matter. So we just take them off the table. All right, let's go to our cannon. So they really need to remove one. So I'm going to roll. Okay, I got a 10 and a 2, so they do remove one, so that's good. And now for our ogres, and they remove both of theirs. All right, so that is it for the turn, and I think we're going to end the game here. Again, I'm trying to keep this kind of quick. I have a tendency to keep these videos running a bit too long sometimes, so trying to keep it fairly short. I think we saw a little bit of everything in this game, at least for the core basic game, right? I mean, we saw how some movement worked. We saw some hand combat, including with monsters with toughness. We saw independent weapon. We saw how hand combat works. We saw how break tokens work. We saw what happens if you don't get break tokens removed. So we did see I'd say a decent representation of how combat works in the game. All right, so that's going to be it then. I'm going to wrap it up here. If you have any questions or comments, please check us out on Facebook. You can also watch our other videos. We have other videos available here that target specific areas of the game, such as the orders, the turn sequence, maybe a bit more in depth with combat and movement. Again, we just kind of did highlights here as we're going through a game. If you want to know more in depth about each of these subjects, I would recommend checking out those videos. Thank you.